Hello everyone, welcome back. Today is our last session of the year. So we have been here for 3 weeks. The finish was going to come, so here we go. Number 29. If sorry. If negative 2x squared minus 4 minus 3 equals 0, which statement is true about the solution? Okay, before reading the answers, what I need is to find the solution. So let's do it. We have negative 2. I'm gonna make it even smaller. Okay. Negative 2x squared minus 4x minus 3. Let's see if we can factor. So we have negative 3 and 1. And then no, if I do 2 and negative 1 here, negative 2 and 1, that will give me 5. I don't think we can factor. I cannot think of factoring right now. So basically, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. If we cannot factor, we just go and use the quadratic formula. Remember, negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. All of this over 2a. This comes from ax squared plus bx plus c. And in this case, or a will be equal to negative 2, or b equal negative 4, and a c equal negative 3. So a, b, and c. And remember, you need to know the formula by memory. You are not going to have the formula on the test. So let's use our equation. Negative b is minus 4 is just 4, plus minus square root of b squared minus 4 ac. So negative 2, negative 3 times negative 2 times negative 3. All over to a. Which is negative 2. So we solve for it. So this is x equal. So x equal 4 plus minus 4. Negative 4 squared is just 16. Now, negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. Times negative 3 is 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then from this we have that x equal 4 plus minus square root of 16 minus 24, which will be minus 8 over negative 4. Now, as you can see, we have a square root of a negative number. And every time we have a square root of a negative number, it doesn't have a real solution. So it doesn't have a solution. Why? Because we cannot do a square root of a negative number. Then I'm saying, okay, it doesn't have a solution. The square root is negative. So okay. One real solution, no. It has no cases that there are no solutions, and they say that there are infinitely many real solutions. So no. If the square root is negative, there are no real solutions, which will be C. The related graph does not intersect the x-axis, so there are no real solutions. Now let's look 3. Which of the following statements is true regarding this equation? Okay, there are no real solutions, there are infinitely many solutions. Let's see. Let's use the formula so you can get used to it. We have that A in this case will be equal 1 because we don't have a number C. We have the B will be equal 0 because we don't have a, Bx. And then we have the C will be equal 4. So this will be B, so 0 plus minus square root of minus B squared, which is minus 0 squared, minus 4AC over 2A. When I solve for this, I just have plus minus square root of 0 squared is 0, so I'm going to ignore it. And negative 4 times 1, negative 4, negative 4 times negative 4, negative 16 over 2A. Or over 2 times 1, A is 1. Now, as you can see, we have a negative number in the square, so there are no real solutions. Now, Jenny is trying to find the real solutions of that equation by using the quadratic formula. If he uses the quadratic formula correctly, which of the following statements can Jenny conclude? Okay, let's do it. Basically, they're saying use the quadratic formula. So here we have the A will be equal 1, B will be equal negative 3, and C will be equal 7. Now then we have the X equal negative negative B. So it will be like negative B, which is negative negative 3, which is positive 3. So 3 plus minus square root of B squared, which is negative 3 square minus 4AC, so 1, 7, over 2A, so 2 times 1. And here we have X equal 3 plus minus 3, negative 3 squared is just 9. And negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. And 2 times 1 is 2. And here we have that X equal 3 plus minus 9 minus 28 is negative 19 over 2. As you can see, we have a negative number inside the square, so there are no real solutions. Sorry. Now, the graph of quadratic function has a vertex at to negative 2 comma 3 and passes through the point negative 4 comma 7 and 0 comma 7. What is the equation? Okay, first let's look at the vertex. We know that the vertex formula will be y equal a x minus h plus k, where h is so where the vertex is h comma k. So here right now we know that the equation will be a x minus 2, which is going to be positive 2 plus 3 because that's the vertex. So let's get rid of the one that doesn't. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the square here. So we can get rid of this too. Now let's figure out if it is negative or if it is positive. Right now, I'm just going to do some logic. If it is negative at the beginning, I know that it has to be something like this. So it has to be like this. If it is positive at the beginning, I know it's going to go up. It's going to be more positive over time, and this will be more negative over time. Now, if I have my point here, let's say this is negative 2 comma 3. This is my vertex. Then I will have negative 4 comma 7, and then 0 comma 7. And as you can see, this is going up. If I can draw right, okay, this is going up. So it has to be positive. It cannot be negative at the beginning. And that's how I know it's C. Now, it's D, I'm sorry. If it is not a multiple choice question, what I will do, I have this equation. I can take a point. So I can take 0, 0.7, for example. And I'm going to say my point is going to be 0, 0.7. So my y is 7 equal a 0 plus 2 square plus 3. Now I subtract 3 from both sides. And I will get 4. So 3 minus 3 is 0. 7 minus 3 is 4 equal a times 0 plus 2. 2 squared is 4. So 4a times 4. And now I can divide both sides by 4. This can cancel, and I have the a equal 4 over 4, which is 1. And 1 is just positive 1, which is the same as putting it here. You can use either of the two in a multiple choice. In a free response, you need to actually calculator, but as you can see, it's pretty easy. Now the graph of a quadratic function has a vertex. We have a vertex there and passes through the points. Okay, let's see. We know the formula right there. We know this will be h and this will be k. So the equation will be y equal a. We don't know a. X minus h, so x minus 5, plus k. When k is negative 4, so it will be minus 4. Now let's see. Is minus 5 and the minus 4. Yeah, we have it here. We don't need anything else. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. So that's the formula. Now the quadratic formula function has a vertex of. Again, we look at the vertex, this h comma k. And so it will be y equal a x minus h. So x minus minus 4, which is just x plus 4 plus k. So plus 20. Let's look, plus 4 plus 20. This is wrong, this is wrong, and this is wrong. So it has to be this one. Now we want to make sure negative is going down. We have the vertex as a negative, okay, a negative 4 comma 20, negative 4 comma 20. And we're going to negative 6 comma 16 and negative 2 comma 16, which is of course going down. Just to make sure. Now 35, we have the vertex again, and we do have the points. So let's see this. We have h comma k. So equation will be y equal a x sorry, x minus h, which will be x minus 3, plus k, which is negative 1 minus 1. Let's look. Minus 3 minus 1, this is not. Minus 3 minus 1, this is not. Now we have two options. We need to calculate the a. So we take a value. I'm going to take 1 and 7. So I'm going to take this point right here. And I will say 7, because y, this is x comma y. So this will become 7 equal a 1 minus 3. Oh, I forgot the square here. And I also forgot it here. Be careful with this. Be really careful with that. So 1 minus 3 squared minus 1. Because I substitute the values. Now I'm going to add 1 on both sides. So I have 8 equal a 1 minus 3 is negative 2 square. Is a 2. Now a equal negative 2 squared is 4. So 4a. And then I divide by 4. And I have that a equal 2. So this is wrong. And this should be my answer. Now here, we again have the vertex. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, first we have the vertex, so let's identify the vertex formula. We have h comma k. So this will be y equal a x minus h, so x minus 3 square plus k, which is negative 7, so plus negative 7. Now, they're asking for the equation in this formula, so we need to solve for a. We can take any point. I'm going to take this one right here, and I'm going to say -3, and substituting the values, equal a 5 minus 3 squared minus 7. Now I'm going to add 7 both sides, and this will cancel, and 7 minus 3 is 4, so 4 equal a. 5 minus 3 is 2, so 2 squared. Now 4 equal 2 squared is 4, so 4a, and I can divide by 4 both sides. It will become 1, so a equal 1. And I have that y equal 1 times, so we don't put it. So y equal -3 squared minus 7. Now, x minus 3 squared. I said that before, so you need to know the formula. It's going to be a squared, which is x squared, minus 2ab, so 2x times 3, plus b squared, so it will be 3 squared. And then all this, we part for this, and then minus 7, because we have the minus 7 outside. So this will be equal x squared. 2 times 3 is 6, so minus 6x. 3 squared is 9, so plus 9 minus 7. And then 9 minus 7 is 2, so this will be x squared minus 6x plus 2, which is choice C. Now, the graph of quadratic function has a vertex at, okay, it's exactly the same as we did before. We have the vertex, this is their h, this is their k. Let me use another color. H is k. So we have that y equal a x minus h, so x minus 1 square, and plus k, so plus 2. Now we need to select a point. I'm going to select 0, -1. I have that -1 equal a 0 minus 1 plus 2. So you substitute the value, then I'm going to subtract 2 of this square. Subtract 2 from both sides, can cancel, and I have the -2 minus -1 minus 2 is just -3, equal a, and -1 squared is just 1, so a equal -3. If I divide both sides by 1, which is the same. So I'm going to substitute the value, and I have the y equal -3 x minus 1 squared plus 2. Then I can say that y equal -3 x squared minus 2x 1 plus 1 squared, and then all that plus 1. Then I can say that y equal -3. -3 times x squared, -3x squared. Now this -2x times 1 is just -2x. Wait, this is just -2x. Now -3 times -2 is +6, so 6 and x. And then 1 squared is just 1, so -3 times 1 is -3. And then plus 1, because we have the plus 1 at the end. So y equal -3x squared plus 6x, -3 plus 1, so -2. And I must have done something wrong. 0, comma negative 1. Okay, you have in here. Yeah, and then comma negative 1 plus 2 is equal negative 3. So a is equal negative 3. Then 2 squared 2 then. Oh, I see why. My bad. This is plus 2, and I put plus 1. Sorry about that. So this is plus 2, this is plus 2, and then negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. And now we have it here. Sorry about that. Now, look at the graph on the coordinate plane. Find the quadratic equation that represents the graph. Again, we see it is going up. It is becoming more positive, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the time. So it is not negative. And now let's look at the graph. We have the vertex, negative 2, negative 3. So these are h, these are k. So we have that the equation will be y equal a x minus h. So x minus minus 2, it will be plus 2. And then plus k, so negative 3. And we have plus 2 on this square. So it is not this one, and we are left with b. Now we need the equation again. It is going up, so we don't have a negative here. It is becoming more positive, like with time is 4, 3, 2, like negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. with the time. So we want a positive value, and then these are h, these are k, and we have that y equal a x minus h, so x minus 1 square plus k, which is plus negative 7, which is the same as you saying minus 7. And then minus 1 minus 7, which is not this equation, it is d. Now let's look here. Now we have something down. As the time passes, it is going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. So we want a negative sign at the front. We don't want this. Now, something that I can see is that you know that this value, you can calculate it. But this value right here, it is the y-intercept. I'm going to calculate it either way, but as you can see, the y-intercept is going to be a negative number down there, like down here. So it cannot be positive 11. So I know my answer must be C. Now, if you want to calculate it, you do the same. You know, y equal a x minus h, so x minus 4, plus k, which is going to be plus 5. And my select a point, I'm going to select 2 and 1. So I have that 1 equal a x 2 minus 4 square plus 5. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, so 5 minus 5 is 0, and 1 minus 5 is minus 4, like negative 4 equal a. 2 minus 4 is negative 2 square. And then I have that negative 4 equal negative 2 square is 4, so 4a. I'm going to divide by 4, and I have that a equal negative 1. So I'm getting this equation, and I have y equal negative x minus 4 square plus 5. So y equal negative x squared minus 2x 2x 4 twice ab. So plus 4 squared and all that plus 5. And that translates to and negative x minus, okay, 2 times 4 is 8, so 8x. 4 squared is 16 plus 16 and all that plus 5. Now I have the negative sign, so there will be negative x squared, negative and negative positive, so plus 8x, negative 16 plus 5, and then negative 16 plus 5 is just negative 11. And that's how you do it mathematically. Now here, look at the graph, and we want something. Okay, we can see everything is going up, going down, so we're gonna cancel anything there, and we actually need to calculate it. So we have our vertex formula. It will be y minus equal a x minus h. H here is negative 4, so it will be minus 5. As you can see, minus and minus is positive, so we better say plus 5 squared. And plus b plus k, and our k will be 5, so plus 5. Now we're going to select a point, and here we have better use this, negative 3 comma negative 3. So I have negative 3 equal a x, which is going to be negative 3 plus 5 square plus 5. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, and I have 5 minus 5 is 0, negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8, equal a, negative 3 plus 5 is 2 square, negative a equal a times 4, 2 squared is 4, I divide by 4 both sides, and I have that a equal negative 2. And I have my a equal negative 2. So my equation will be y equal negative 2, x plus 5 squared plus 5. It will be equal negative 2, x squared plus 2x 5 plus 5 squared. It will be negative 2 times x squared. 2 times 5 is 10, so plus 10x, and 5 squared is 25, so plus 25 plus 5. And then y equal negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times 10 is negative 20x. Negative 2 times 25 is negative 50. And then I add my 5. And this will be, my equation will be y equal negative 2x squared minus 20x minus 45. Which is basically the option I was covering. Now let's keep going. How many do we have left? Oh, quite a few, and we need to finish today. So let's keep going. Put it to the value of Jennifer's portfolio is multiplied by the function below. Okay, basically we just need to know the we just need to know the formula. Something quick, as you can see. Oops, this is not what I wanted to do. It is going down, so we need to, the value in front of the x squared needs to be negative. So it's gonna be, this gonna be. And then our y-intercept is 5, so the value alone should be 5. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Now, let's solve it for it. Y equal a x minus h, so x minus 1 in this case squared, plus k, so plus 9. we select a number, so 5 will be equal 8. 0 minus 1 squared plus 9. I subtract 9 in both cases, so I have negative 4 equal a, and 0 minus 1 is minus 1, and minus 1 squared just 1, so times 1, which a times 1 is 1, so a is negative 4. And then I go here, have negative 4 times x minus 1 squared plus 9. This will be minus 4 x squared minus 2 x times 1, which is 2x, and then 1 squared, which is 1, and plus 9 minus 4 times x squared is minus x squared, minus minus positive, so plus 4 times 2 is 8, 8x, minus 1 is minus 4, plus 9, and then it will be negative 4x squared, sorry, plus 8x, 4 plus 9, like 9 minus 4 is 5, so plus 5. And that's option D. This case, okay, try a quadratic equation that represents the relationship between time. Okay, we basically need to write the equation. They don't specify in which form they want the equation, so let's read just in case. The graph models the depth in yards the water surface of the dolphin before and after it rises to take a breath. A breath, yeah. The sense again, the depth D is related to time, t in seconds, and t equal 0 is when the dolphin reaches a depth of 0. So this point is 0, 0, they just say it. So I'm going to say that y will be equal a x minus 0 plus 0. So y will be equal a of this square x squared. Y x minus 0 squared will be, I'm going to delete this after. The first one squared, so x squared minus 2 a, which is x, b, which is 0, plus b squared, which is 0 squared. Now 0 times 0 is 0, 0 squared is just 0, and we have x squared. Now, we need a number, so it will be, I'm going to say negative 32. It's going to be equal a 4 times 4 squared. So negative 32 equal a times 4 squared is 16. I'm going to divide by 16. And have the a equal negative 2 because negative 32 divided by 16 is negative 2. Therefore, my equation will be equal y equal negative 2x squared. And that's my answer. Now here, they wants to build a fence or a rectangular part of his area of his yard. The graph shows the area in square feet that are on the same that he has, where x the width in feet of the triangle. Write an equation for y in terms of x. Okay, so we just need to write an equation. We have the vertex, so it will be y equal a times x minus h, so x minus 16 plus k, so plus 256. I'm going to use any number. I'm just going to use 5 and 135, so 135 equal a times x. Oh, x is 5, so 5 minus 16 plus 256. I'm going to subtract 256 from both sides, so 135 minus 256. You can use your calculator for that. So negative 121 minus 121. That's going to be equal 8 times 5 minus 16. Oh, this is square. 5 minus 16 is negative 11 square. No, negative 121 is going to be equal 8. And negative 11 squared is just 121. And when I divide both sides by 121, this cancels because this is 1. And then negative 121 divided by 121 is negative 1. So right here, our equation, I'm just going to write it like this will be y equal negative 1 or just negative x minus 16 squared plus 256. Part B, if the rectangle must be at least 4 feet wide, what is the range of possibilities of possible areas that Nick can surround? Complete the inequality to represent the data. Okay, so we need to substitute the value. First, as you see, when they say at least 4, so we are looking from negative 4 to 4 because we're looking for the range. When every time we square the things for quadratic fractions, for quadratic equation, every time we square, we convert the number in positive. So that's a tricky part, but if we use our equation, we need to do the positive 4 first. Have that y equal negative 4 minus 16 squared plus 256. So 4 minus 16, y equal negative. 4 minus 16 is negative 12 squared plus 256. Negative 12 squared is positive 134, so 4 plus 256. Minus negative 1 times 134 is just negative 144. Sorry. And then 256 minus 144, that's 112, I think. 256. Yeah, 112. So we have 112, and now let's see the other one. So y equal negative 4 negative 16 squared plus 256. Y equal negative 4 negative 16 is negative 20, so negative 20 squared plus 256. Now, negative 20 squared is 400, so it will be minus 400. Okay, 400 plus 256, and this is going to be equal negative 400 plus 256, and that's equal negative 144. So that's basically the answer. Negative 144 to 50 to 112. Now the table shows some value for quadratic function which represent equations modeled below. Okay, first you can see we're going first positive, ta, 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 and then we're coming back. Like this is a turning point. We have negative 3 here, we have negative 3 here, 3 here, we have 3 here. And it's going something like this, where 5 where 1 comma 5 is like the biggest number. So first it's going down, so I know it's negative. It's not any of the two. We know that the y-intercept is 3, so we need to have a 3 here. Now, we need to solve to know that. We have the vertex, we have the y equal a, x minus 1 plus 5. I'm going to choose 3 as my number, so it will be 3 equal a, 0 minus 1 squared plus 5. Subtract 5 and negative 2 equal a times negative a times 1, so a equal negative 2. And now I'm going to use my equation, so y equal negative 2 times x minus 1 squared plus 5. So it will be negative 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 1 all done plus 5. And this will be y equal negative 2x squared plus 4x minus minus 2 plus 5. And that's equal negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 3, which is option B. Now here, again, as you can see, again, this down is going down, then up, then up. This is the maximum, and then goes back down again. So something like this, our maximum is 1 comma 25. So it is going down when you are negative from, so it is not this, it is not this. We need to solve for it. So y equal a x minus 1 plus 25. I'm going to select 0.1 as my point, so 20 equal a minus 0 point minus times 0 minus 1 squared plus 25. And then subtract and negative 5 equal a times 1, which is just a. Now I use my equation and I solve for it. I have that y equal negative 5 x minus 1 squared plus 25. So we from negative 5 x squared minus 2x plus 1 all that plus 25. It will be negative 5x squared minus positive, so plus 10x minus 5 plus 25, and minus 5 plus 25 is just 20. So that's our equation, which is choice B. Now let's look how many are missing. Okay, so let's look here. Again, let's look at this. We have positive, positive, negative, 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 positive. So in this case, going something like this, where 2 comma negative 20 is our minimum. That is positive, so it's going up. And I'm going to say that y equal a x minus 2 plus minus 20, because the k is negative 20 now. Something that I just realized to have showed you guys earlier about the signs is that we know that a is going to be positive. So no matter, it's just a trick. You can do it like I have done it before, but I know that a is going to be positive. So, and this is a negative sign right here. So positive and negative is negative. So I know that the middle, I'm talking about the middle value, the value that has the x, has to be negative. It cannot be positive. Because positive times negative is going to be equal negative. In this case, I'm going to use the same strategy. It's just that for multiple choice, it's really easy. basically like 95% of the songs must be choice. So we have the table here. I see negative, positive, 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 and then it's coming back. As you can see, increasing, then decreasing. But we cannot find, sorry about that, we do not have the vertex here. We do not have it. But we can infer it. So as you can see, we are missing one here, and we are missing 4 here. So 1 will go with 3, and 0 will go with 4. And therefore, that rhymes. Either way, the one that gets in the middle is 2. So 2 should be our vertex, and then when x equal 1, we should get 128, and when x equal 4, we should get 80. So you can see the whole line, like the whole stair as I like describe it. And this is the greatest value, so it's going down. It's going down, so it must be negative. And we need to write the quadratic function. It is a pre-response. So I'm going to say y equal a x minus 2 plus 144. I'm going to select a number. I'm going to select 0, wait, it's just easier to select. Yeah, 0, 8. So I have 80. So I have 80 equal a 0 minus 2, 0 minus 2 square plus 144. I'm going to subtract 144 from both sides. I have 64 here. Like 80 minus 144 is 64 equal a 0 minus 2 is minus 2 minus 2 squared is 4. Then I divide both sides by 4. And I have that a equal 16. Wait, 64. I think it is 16. Yeah, 16. So I can try my equation. It will be this is negative 64. I'm sorry. 80 minus 144 is negative 64. So this is negative 16. So it is negative. That's, you see, I realized because knew it was going down. I knew my first value was need to be negative. So that's one important thing to consider. So it will be negative 16 x minus 2 square plus 144. And that's my answer. Now the next one, 49. Okay, first I know it's going up. Sorry. I know it's going up, so it's not C or D. And now I know that x have to be equal 3. That's one of my solutions. I have the point here. So x minus 3 will be equal 0. Therefore, this is what I'm looking for. It is not x plus 3. It is x minus 3. And my answer is A. Here is going down. I need a negative value right here. So it is not A, it is not D. Now, our solutions are x equal negative 2 and x equal 2. So in this case, x plus 0 plus 2 equals 0 because I'm adding 2 in both sides. And here x minus 2 equals 0. So it's just x plus 2, x minus 2, which is in this case right here. Not happening in B. This case is going up, so you have to be positive. All the two are positive. We have x equal negative 3 and x equal negative 1. So I add 3 here and I have that x plus 3 is going to be equal 0. I add 1 here, x plus 1 going to be equal 0. So this is x plus 3, x plus 1, which is choice D. Easy. This case going down negative. Okay, it's not C, it's not D. Now, look at my points. I have that x equal 1, x equal 5. So here I subtract 1 both sides. I have that x minus 1 going to be equal 0. Here I subtract 5, so x minus 5 is going to be equal 0. So it will be x minus 1, x minus 5, which is choice B. Here going up, it is positive, so it's not A, it's not C. Now, what I would recommend testing in this case is I would recommend testing between B and C to see which one will give you the right intercept right here. So if I put 2 here, I'm going to substitute 2 by 2 here. So y equal 2 minus 1, 2 minus 3. So y equal 2 minus 1 is 1, 2 minus 3 is negative 1, and 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. However, so this is not my answer because I'm looking for negative 4. If I do it here, I have that y going to be equal 4 times 2 minus 1 and 2 minus 3. So that's going to be equal 4, 2 minus 1 is 1. So 4 times 1 and 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Oops, negative 1. 4 times 1 is 1. 4 times minus 1 is minus 4, which is what we were looking for right here. Therefore, D is our answer. Now this, okay, just 2 more. Again, this is positive, it's going up, perfect. So I cannot discard any of that now. I know it's going up, and my x-intercept, y-intercept will be somewhere here. So it has to be positive A, cannot be negative A. So I can take out B and C. And for solve for this, I do something that is pretty easy. You saw what I did before? I have that x equal here. Here I have that x equal negative 4 and x equal negative 2. If I solve for that, add 4 in this case, so x plus 4 equals 0. And here x plus 2 equals 0. And I can multiply those two. X plus 4 times x plus 2. So x times x squared. Okay, sorry. X times 2, 2x. 4 times x, 4x. 4 times 2, 8. So it will be x squared. 2 times 2 times 4 is 6. 2 plus 4 is 6. So 6x plus 8. Which is option A. Now our last one. Now, first we see that our intercept is 4. Positive. Like this is easy. We see that our intercept is positive for y-intercept right here. The only one that have the positive for intercept is A. It's not happening here, and it's happening here. So for A is our answer. And that's it, we're finished. I hope you guys understood very well. If you have any question, this course is still open. I will still check, I will still answer questions. Just let me know. Good luck in your exams, and thank you for being all this time here.